and welcome to Quiz Zest. Get ready to spell some tough words. And if you're ready for more challenges, please like, share with friends, and don't forget to subscribe for more quizzes. Can you spell these tricky words? Abominable. Can you spell these tricky words? Abracadabra. Can you spell these tricky words? Abstruse. Can you spell these words correctly? Accoutrement. Can you spell these tricky words? Acquiescence. Can you spell these tricky words? Aesthetic. Can you spell these tricky words? Ameliorate. Can you spell these tricky words? Anaphylaxis. Can you spell these tricky words? Anglophile. Can you spell these tricky words? Anthropomorphic. Can you spell these tricky words? Anthropomorphization. Can you spell these tricky words? Anti-disestablishmentarian. Can you spell these tricky words? Anti-terrorist. Can you spell these tricky words? Antithesis. Can you spell these tricky words? Anti-transubstantiationalist. Can you spell these tricky words? Antivivisectionist. Can you spell these tricky words? Appurtenance. Can you spell these tricky words? Archaeology. Can you spell these tricky words? Can you spell these tricky words? Atavistic. Can you spell these tricky words? Auspicious. Can you spell these tricky words? Axiomatic. Can you spell these tricky words? Beleaguer. Can you spell these tricky words? Blasphemous. Can you spell these tricky words? Bombastic. Can you spell these tricky words? Boondoggle. Can you spell these tricky words? Brouhaha. Can you spell these tricky words? Byzantine. Can you spell these tricky words? Cerebellum. Can you spell these tricky words? Chlorofluorocarbon. Can you spell these tricky words? Chronotherapeutics. Can you spell these tricky words? Circumlocution. Can you spell these tricky words? Circumlocutional. Can you spell these tricky words? Commiserate. Can you spell these tricky words? Concatenate. Can you spell these tricky words? Conflagration. Can you spell these tricky words? Conglomeration. Can you spell these tricky words? spell these tricky words? Conscientious. Can you spell these tricky words? Consternation. Can you spell these tricky words? Constitutionality. Can you spell these tricky words? Contumacious. Can you spell these tricky words? Convalescent. Can you spell these tricky words? Counter-argumentative. Can you spell these tricky words? Counter-demonstration. Can you spell these tricky words? Counterproductive. Can you spell these tricky words? Counter-revolutionary. Can you spell these tricky words? Curmudgeon. Can you spell these tricky words? Debauchery. Can you spell these tricky words? Decrepitude. Can you spell these tricky words? Defenestration. Can you spell these tricky words? Deinstitutionalization. Can you spell these tricky words? Demagoguery. Can you spell these tricky words? Dendrochronologically. Can you spell these tricky words? Derogatory. Can you spell these tricky words? Dichotomous. Can you spell these tricky words? spell these tricky words? Disenfranchisement. Can you spell these tricky words? Disestablishmentarian. Can you spell these tricky words? Disingenuous. Can you spell these tricky words? Disparagement. Can you spell these tricky words? Disproportionate. Can you spell these tricky words? Ectoparasitism. Can you spell these tricky words? Effervescent. Can you spell these tricky words? Electroencephalograph. Can you spell these tricky words? Electromagnetism. Can you spell these tricky words? Embellishment. Can you spell these tricky words? Encephalopathy. Can you spell these tricky words? Epistemology. Can you spell these tricky words? Equivocation. Can you spell these tricky words? Ethnophilosophy. Can you spell these tricky words? Evanescence. Can you spell these tricky words? Exasperation. Can you spell these tricky words? Excommunication. Can you spell these tricky words? Flabbergasted. Can you spell these tricky words? tricky words? Floxinus in a helipolification. Can you spell these tricky words?